welcome in Morning Brew. Jaffe and Razor, true Morning Brew style. We've had one or two of these this year, Razor. As this comes the morning after the Bruins lose 7-4 in Seattle. So you and I were up late. You fall asleep quickly when you get home right after those shows? I mean, you're a sleeper.
Yeah, no, that's really late last night. There's no coming home and sitting on the couch for that one. That's straight to bed for sure.
Yeah, I get into bed. It takes me a little bit to fall asleep, but then I do. But when I got home, I know it sounds a little whatever. But I took my Sunset Lake CBD. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. And I did. I took the tincture right away before I actually washed up to see if I could get to sleep, and it helped me even quicker. And by the way, I'm touching all of our sponsors already between coffee and CBD and the Sparks machine. It's been a busy day in the household here. It's been good. Not so good for the Bruins last night in Seattle, partner. I would have been, this is awful, admitting it, sleepless in Seattle after that game. That's awful.
Yeah, that was
awful.
Brutal. That was brutal.
I would absolutely say you're a jackass, Jaffe, and they wouldn't be wrong if people said that too. But they got throttled in a game that wasn't setting up to be throttled, Razor. It was 2-2 near the end of the second period. And then just a couple of bad moments and Shitsville happened. That's about it right there.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. Man, they played a really good 38 minutes, like exactly what you would want. They were in a hockey game, but no, like a little slow out of the gates, but that's to be expected. They're in a hotel for 4 straight. Like it's never perfect.
Right.
It's full of mistakes, but really good and really good second period. You think I think I said it 28 seconds before they got scored on for the third goal. I said, this is lining up perfect. They're wearing Seattle down. Seattle played, they traveled, setting up perfectly for a third period where they pull ahead and they score those 2 goals early in the third or late in the third and win 5-2 with an empty netter. Literally that's what it saw. That's all I saw. And they gave up two brutal goals with brutal scenarios late in the second and just crushed their hopes of having a really good road trip. They had a good road trip, but not a really good one like it looked like they could have.
No question about it. We'll get to those 2 goals in just a minute, specifically just to talk about them. But to your point about the road trip, they were 2-1-1 coming into this game. They had multiple days off between this game and then the Vancouver game, the previous one. Very short travel between the two, but time in the hotel is what it is. Life on the road, right? And in theory, it should have helped. But they lose this game, and I felt just the way I kept saying to myself, don't be so hard. Don't be so hard. And you know what? I'm having a hard time, my friend, not being hard on them after this game. Because I don't feel good about it. I kind of feel like we're seeing too many of the same things over and over again. I think we know what this team is now, Razor. We're halfway through the season, and I'm saying to myself, I know there's injuries. So what? Everybody's got them too. But I'm looking at it and saying, damn, this is the kind of game where mental fortitude, more than anything's got to win out. And I felt like they lost it and into that end of the second period. And so it bummed me up. They're 2-1 on that road trip. They come home. You said it would feel so different, Razor, if they come home 3-1. I get it. I know we can play that game all day long, if and but and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I get it. But to lose a battle and then to take a bad penalty, I think is a microcosm. And this team has worked their asses off this year for the most part. They really have. But it's that kind of goal that we've been seeing too much lately. And then the goal based off the penalty that Steve's took. That you're and my eyes again, I love a save, an extra one from Swayman, who had been so damn good lately. And it just wasn't a good, I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me, my friend. I mean, you can tell me I'm not wrong, but you feel different. Given the fact that Thursday's game is going to be so hard to begin with, even if they had won, coming back home and having to play Calgary, it just doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I think I'm becoming a little numb to the win. Like there're just so many games and they can still go on a streak of, they could win all 3 this weekend and we're back to the other thing. Like I'm I'm numb to the season and the highs and lows, not just of the Bruins, but like of everybody.
I get you. I get
Of the
you.
Buffalo, like that's where I'm at with the season. Like maybe I'm in the dog days a little bit where I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, just if they stay within 4 points of a playoff spot through the break, then anything can still happen. It's just like a weird thing. I think it would have been much different if I expected them to win the division. I think I'd be talking differently. I think they're right in a spot where Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Florida, Toronto, Boston, like they're just kind of there. And that's why I guess maybe I'm thinking about this loss a little differently, in that it's really disappointing, really annoying. But if they win Thursday night and find a way to split the weekend, then it ends up being a good week again, because you're taking points off Pittsburgh, you're taking points off New York. And so I'm disappointed with the penalty stuff. I really don't know why they're not figuring it out. I really don't understand. I'm curious and kind of want to see, because it's been 4 weeks now, or 3 weeks, where it's gotten bad again, and they cleaned it up, and it's gone. This whole trip, it was a bad penalty fest, and I'm just wondering what they're doing about it. I don't see anything that they're doing like outwardly, so I want to kind of be around and see and feel it, I guess. And then the battle stuff is you have, it's when you were a little depleted, and you have guys in positions that they're not necessarily used to, and if they can't do it, then that's what you are.
So, all right, so many places that we could go from it. And there's a lot to cover, because we wanted to touch on the Vancouver game and Seattle, and just an overall road trip, because since we last sat down and chatted the other day, that's what's happened. But let me get to your point about too many penalties. I'll start with that. On this road trip, Razor, they gave the opponent 23 times on the power play.
Yeah.
They had 13.
No, it's not even close.
It is ridiculous. And I'm going to pick on a guy like Steve's here, if only because you and I talked about it as well. But in the last couple of weeks, you're going to talk about egregious penalties. He had the stick swinging one, and I'm blanking against, that was at
Montreal.
Montreal. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. And that started everything there. Like they lost that game with bad penalties.
Right. And then this game, he has the penalty at the end of the second period, the slash. You can argue the call and the rule interpretation by the league now, but that's going to be a call 99% of the time.
Yeah.
That penalty.
Yeah.
Like it or not. So there's a responsibility factor there. So what happens? To your point, I couldn't agree with you more. Enough. This has gotten to the point where it's an epidemic with this team. And I can't imagine. This is when teammates start getting, I think, resentful with other teammates, Razor. You've been in that locker room at the NHL level. I've been in it at the college level and other levels. There becomes, you can talk about how great of a team they're, and they are. These are great guys. I know it's easy to say, but I'm telling you, these are phenomenal guys to deal with. But Razor, you sit in this locker room before, guys are starting to get pissed off. Oh, especially the guys that don't play on the penalty kill. And maybe even the guys on the PK. They're just saying, like, what the heck, guys? When are we going to learn? This is getting to be too much. So just to give numbers, context to what you were talking about.
Yeah, no, it's not even close. And it does get to, the heads go back and the hands go up and the side eyes happen. And when your best guys can't play the last 2 minutes of a period, it's critical times in these games. And that's what's really, again, they're taking so many of them, and it has to be critical times, because it's over and over and over again. It's not, you can't pick a soft spot if you're taking 5 or 6. You're going to take them in bad timing.
And I do want to, not that you need my validation or my confirmation, but I do want to agree with you that literally within 30, maybe 60 seconds, folks, Razor last night in the green room, watching the studio room, saying about how this was an awesome,
so mad
scenario. Razor doesn't get upset often, folks. You need to know that I think that's what made him an help make you an NHLer, is your personality. You understand, especially as a goalie, how you just kind of let things go, or at least compartmentalize it. Maybe don't let it go. You
I'm going to
compartmentalize it.
Right.
Yes. Well, sure as heck, after he's like, this is great. And we're marking this and doing that. And okay, 2-2. They haven't been great in this game, but damn, they've been okay lately. In this second period, they started to get flow, getting through the neutral zone, blah, blah, blah. And sure as heck, the last couple of minutes, 2 minutes of that period, and then Razor went silent.
Yeah, I was done for the night. That was it. I was done.
Lowry losing that battle. There's a battle behind the net. Cartier, young player, gets in on an aggressive forecheck. The third and fourth lines for the Seattle Kraken Razor have been very instrumental in their what are they, 8-0-1 now in their last 9 games?
Yes.
Okay. Shocking to me. But like Buffalo won 10 in a row. It's happening this year. Because they're working their bags off. And he gets in, and it was I always used to say to the kids, it's not about the first battle. It's not about the second battle. It's willingness to the third battle. Because by the third battle, that's when the guys really tire out. And it was the third battle that Lowry lost. Cartier ends up winning. It was complete scrap it out behind the net, stick lift, etc., body positioning. And then Myers gets the puck in the low slot area, and he beats Swayman short side to make it a 3-2 game, a big-time goal. The goal afterwards with 1 second left, less than 1 second left, even bigger, but this was a mega goal as well. This is the type of thing where, you can have all these moments of goodness as a player, and it's one of these that people look at and they say, that cannot happen. Mm-hmm. That time of game, it cannot happen. We can sit here and talk about it, and this is going to come down to the player being invested that much more and saying, I'm not going to let you beat me. It's as simple as that, Razor.
Yeah, it is. And it's the battle. And it's also the decision. Like, why not try not to make a play? Why not just, okay.
On the first touch, you mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's just, right. It's battle, but it's also decision-making. It's also processing. It's also, all right, I'm in the soup here. I gotta rim it. I gotta get it at least away from my net. I gotta give it to the wingers to deal with. I gotta, instead of banking off the backboards and then doing a 360 and then doing a turn it's again, it's another teachable moment, but it's too late in the season to actually win games if you're gonna make those decisions.
And it's not like the Bruins have a plethora of players just sitting there ready, chomping at the bit to come in because of the injuries.
Yes,
on the back end. So I don't know. Again, it's very easy to say, call this guy up, do this and that and everything. I just don't know what can happen. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a change up front. You do have 2 NHL or players that have been with the NHL squad, Eyssimont and Vial, on the road trip. Eysimont's been in and out of the lineup. Vial hasn't played much at all lately. I could see a change in the lineup up front.
I would expect that after a loss, that then they come home and the whole, you can take that chance to take the opportunity to give someone else a chance to get in there and make something happen, whether it's Mikey or Vial.
Yeah. Energy. They're going to need some. Yeah. This is a tough day for the Bruins. Again, a lot of teams have unfortunately had to go through it this year, but this we're guesstimating. I don't have the itinerary with me, but we're guesstimating the Bruins probably get to their homes at 7:00 on Wednesday night. Yeah. Probably at the earliest. I don't have the exact time that they're leaving the state of Washington, but it's a solid 6-hour flight.
Oh yeah.
Coming back from there.
Yeah,
and so they're going to need, and right, they're going to need some energy to take on the Calgary Flames Thursday night at the Garden. This is a tough sled schedule. I was looking at it. Thursday night, Saturday afternoon. You got to figure, bud, that they take Friday off. I guess, because then you got Saturday afternoon and then Sunday.
Yeah, right? Evening, 5:00, the random Sunday 5:00 start. So I'll be curious how they do make this week work. You might have to suck it up and skate Friday and then not at all Saturday. Like I don't know. I don't have a feel for how they do it anymore. But
you have to have a couple of league mandated CBA days off, full days off.
Yeah, that's right.
So and not having in the schedule in front, but they're going to need some energy. They're going to need to they're going to need some Fazenda coffee is what they're going to need.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why don't we tell you about Fazenda real quick? If they had some Fazenda coffee, they'll probably be fine. So Razor, this morning, I mean, I really love morning routine. I don't know about you, but I'd love to have coffee made in advance if possible. Ooh. And because I did actually fall back asleep for a little bit, Victoria made the coffee, and we've been using we've been actually trying the Protocol blend. It's called from Fazenda, the espresso blend, one of their multiple espresso blends, and I love it. In addition to the morning brew blend, but it's nice sometimes to change it up. So I'm on my second cup of coffee right now in a classic,
love it,
old school mug. Yes, looks like you could get some more sleep too.
Yeah, I got. Well, I haven't even moved yet. Like I haven't got going. I had to get up early, get the kids, and then I came back and got another hour, and I haven't got a coffee. I haven't woke up yet.
No, it's hard, but I love the morning routine: water, then coffee. Almost always a banana. I don't know if you're a fruit guy in the morning or not too, but for some reason, bananas in the morning work. Not later in the day for me. I don't know why. It's a mental thing. FazendaCoffee.com/morning brew if you want the morning brew blend or the hat that Razor is wearing if you're watching on YouTube, or if you just want to check out all their different coffees. They are the best. FazendaCoffee.com, Boston's boutique coffee roaster, located right in Dedham. They'll ship to you. Awesome people. Go check them out. It is absolutely helping me get through this morning as we sit here and record this morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. Okay. So the Seattle game also, hindsight 2020, Swayman starts again. I had no issue with it. I don't think he looked good in the game, bud. I don't think he looked great. Using hindsight, which is fine here. Are you thinking maybe it was too much playing him for a fourth game in a row, or are you still on board? Which I am, by the way. I'm on board because it wasn't just him, although I did not love the second goal that went in from that angle. You made a great point about that's where goalie needs to be able to get out of the way. Yeah. A shot from the deep right wing side from a lefty, a one-timer, actually hits the blocker of Jeremy Swayman and goes in. We both looked at the replay and thought it would have been going wide, but I'm not pinning the loss on him, but like the rest of the team, once it was 2-2, they needed more from him and they didn't. I'll let you, being the former NHLer, tell me good decision, bad decision using hindsight.
No, hindsight doesn't change. It wasn't 4 and 6. It was 4 and 8 or 9. Like that's an easy load for him. He won 3 in a row out of the break. You know, he goes unbeaten in 3, played just as good in Calgary as he did in Edmonton or Vancouver. So you have to play him again last night. I think it's a shitty start for Korpisalo tomorrow afternoon. He's got to find his way to get energy, just like whoever it is coming into the lineup needs to get their energy. That's what Korpisalo is going to do, I think, on Thursday. Yeah, he has to get, it's like that's how Draisaitl scores all his goals. Not 60% of his goals that he scores way down the line would go wide, but it hits the goaltender in the side or the back or the head or just anywhere, and it goes in. That's a tough place, but you have to make yourself small there, which is, again, very counterintuitive to everything you do 99% of the time as a goalie. But on that play, you got to make yourself small. And again, I think my guess is he got a little rattled on the him taking the penalty. He didn't mean to, like you're doing that. You're battling in front. You take a stupid penalty. He knows it. They score right away. That can kind of rattle you as a goaltender. And nothing was really clean from Seattle. Like that, there was only 5 shots in the first.
That's their game.
Correct. Like they're difficult to play against. You saw it. Like there's nothing clean about them. They turn pucks over and you get a quick shot, or he never got settled, I think, after that initial penalty. And again, in the league, it happens quick. All of a sudden you give up the first one because of the 5-on-3 on you. The second one hits you when you didn't want to get hit with it. Third one, turnover behind the net, play out in front, bang, bang. You didn't get to check your spot. You didn't check his windows. He checked his window and the guy moved to his right. He thought he was a little bit further to the left. Comes off angle. I didn't get an angle at all from TV, whether Aspro was in the lane, it hit him. Like we only got the overhead, so it was impossible to tell. But something that's not beating anybody in the league without something happening in front, and then the wheels fell off. So not up to his standards, especially since the holiday break. and he'll have to be huge on the week. Like he's going to have that big game on Saturday afternoon to find 2 points and get back to what he did in Edmonton. Like he needs one of those ones to get the guys going again on the weekend.
I'm playing it out in my head. I got to imagine if he plays well Saturday afternoon, he plays Sunday night too. It being a conference opponent. I mean, if you're getting into the minutia of the schedule like that, Now let's see how Korpisalo plays.
He needs Thursday. A big one. The Corpy needs to get back in the mix here. He needs a big one for sure.
He does need a big one. His the eye test and the numbers really speak it, but the eye test for me scream this. He's got to get going, and I think that's pretty obvious. I think our viewers understand that, and are probably even more outspoken about it. Razor, this is a time now for this guy to pick it up. This is gonna if it's a good chance, even though Calgary and the Calgary game in Calgary, I think was the ugliest game we've seen this year.
Yeah,
I think for both teams I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what we get at the Garden on Thursday night. But if they have a chance to win, Korpisalo is going to have to be a major influencer in the game. There's no question about it. I think this is a good time. Maybe let's go back to the Vancouver game. I just think because we didn't really get to talk about it, and we talked on air on Nesson about the coming out party, so to speak, for Fraser Mitten. It's not that he hasn't played well before. It's just this was a big stage game. I think you talked about it where in post game on Nesson about how this is the type of game that does certain things for a player. You weren't being dramatic. You weren't making this mammoth preachy comment. You were just saying these are the type of moments that make a statement, as I paraphrase, right? What did you like most about it? Because the goals are the reward in my eyes for all the other stuff that he does. But the scoring goals in a game like that in front of hundreds of people that are there for you, et cetera, does it make you, I got to imagine it makes you feel like you belong even more.
Uh-huh. No, it makes you confident. It makes you feel belong. The first goal is he hasn't scored that goal this year. That was different. Being in the bumper, using his release, using his shot. He's getting stronger. He's understanding where to shoot on goaltenders. He's figuring out traffic. He's figuring out space. That for me was different than what he's done before. And the fact, again, he does it. You can go through everybody's. You can go like Dave. I'll just use the big guys because it's easier. Mm-hmm. But you can use anybody, any of the guys that have played a long time and made a lot of money in the NHL. And when they started, they had games like this within their first season where they continue hit milestones. And going back home is one of them. It is a big one because the kid's under pressure. Everybody in the room's watching. Everybody's enjoying it. All the guys love it when guys go home for the first time and they know their parents and everyone knows and gets it. It's a good vibe. And when the kid does that and winning the game, scoring a goal, it brings everybody and everyone on the bench looks at each other and is like, this kid's, he's getting it. He's figuring it out. And I think with everything he's done up until this point, with the maturity, the consistency, the hard work, everything's going to kind of fall into place for him. So, I go back. You can go back to, I remember my first game in Toronto. I wasn't losing my first game in Toronto. I wasn't losing it. Like there was nothing. I was beating those guys in 2000. I wasn't losing. There was no doubt about it. And those are the kind of things where you build off of it once you make that happen and you have it in your head that you're going to do it as a young guy. And I guarantee Fraser told himself he was going to score and do all of those things. And when it happens, you manifest all that manifest stuff. I'm not getting into the weeds there, but it changes how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, I think and how you look at yourself in the mirror, right? And
comes out. You can walk around the room in the league, and everybody saw it in the league.
This is a kid that is almost aw shucks like, really, when you sit and talk to him. Incredibly soft spoken, but not timid.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very mature for 21. but not walking around. His chest is up, his head is up, but it's not a boastful. It is okay, I know I'm just a baby in this league right now, and I'm here.
Yeah.
And is a wonderful way about him. So good for him. And especially, scoring the overtime goal against Vancouver, he did all the hard work before the goal. The easiest part was scoring the actual goal when the puck went through the goaltender Lankinen off of the shot.
Yeah.
After he had set it up, though, with a beautiful pull-up move in the offensive zone and gets away from Sherwood and spins. And then after he makes the pass back, he ends up going towards the net. The smart play. And he ends up getting the loose change and putting it. Let's call him our spark of the week. Instead of the spark of the game, we'll call it the spark of the week because we're going back a couple of days. Sparks Hockey, go to sparkshockey.com. Check out the finest at-home skate sharpener that you can buy. Right now, they got a savings of $100 on bundles. Great deals always there. Check out the Samurai, the DeBurr, the new piece of equipment too. It's fantastic. Go to sparkshockey.com. Fraser Mitten gets
just the sparks. Just to add the sparks on my machine, my old one had the belt broke. Great service, dropped it off, getting fixed, taken care of. Anything happens with these things, they back them up. The thing's awesome. Like
they're the best.
We always talk about it, but it is literally, if you have a hockey playing family in any way whatsoever, it's a no-brainer. You have to get it.
Yeah. Thanks to Sparks Hockey for their continued support. Also, let's go to our other two sponsors that we love as well and thank them. First of all, I told you I've been using all the products. So I used Sparks yesterday. I'm drinking Fazenda this morning. Boy, do I sound like a European soccer player right now, or a hockey player. How about Sunset Lake? So I use the sleep. There's a good night gummy or tincture. And then there's one with and without melatonin, depending on what I need. I used the one without melatonin last night. Fell asleep, the tincture. But also they've got these stick rubs. They got a deep muscle rub. It's one of these. And again, if you're on YouTube, you can see it. If not, you can check it out on their sunsetlakecbd.com website. And I've been using it. Jake's been using it. As my muscles get weaker and I get older, I find that I need it a bit more, especially after, let's say I skate or something and all. It's amazing. I skate for an hour and then every part of my arms hurt me, like handling the puck. But I've been using these products lately more so. And thank God I haven't. They are awesome, Razor. SunsetLakeCBD.com, the place to go. Use the code BRU20 to get 20% off site-wide. But they've got the Good Night Gummies, the Sleep Gummies, the Vibe Gummies, the Sour Bear Gummies, all different things. And you got to find what you want. Everything's different. Everybody handles things differently. But these are made at their all-natural, pesticide-free farm up in northern Vermont. They'll ship right to your door. Awesome stuff. They've got so many different products. We could go through them for literally 10 minutes. Go check out sunsetlakecbd.com. I love them. Razor loves them. RC uses different things. Go check them out. I'm telling you, especially with sleep and relaxation, I find them to be phenomenal.
And everyone's doing dry January right now. It's a perfect time to try it out.
It is. Excellent point. All right. And lastly, Copeland Automotive Group. You can count on Copeland like Razor does all the time. Yeah. Copeland Automotive Group has 5 different dealerships, 3 different brands, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Subaru. Count on Copeland.com like Razor does regularly. Awesome service, Razor. These guys always take care of you.
The best. Huge hockey place. They love talking Bruins, but more importantly, they take care of your car. They take care of your problems. If you're buying, it's easy. I am the last person that deals with salespeople, and I go down and we talk and I tell them what I need and what I want and what the number is, and they figure something out. And that's the best ringing endorsement of any place I can give, especially when it comes to car dealerships. So count on Copeland. Copey and the guys are the best.
They are. Count on Copeland.com. Check out all the new and used products that they have. All right. Hampus Lindholm hurt, unfortunately, again, held out. Something happened, and I think it's the previous game. I think in the Van game, it's something happened on the road trip. Took a hit, blocked a shot, something. That's what reading between the lines, that he dealt with. Was able to play through the Vancouver game and went to practice, I think, in Seattle, but didn't go out there in the off-day practice. So now he could be out. how do you see the D pair? I mean, Aspero's back, awesome. Hampus being out, not so good. Yoki Haru back. I mean, is it time? I know again, it's real easy to sit here and say, call somebody else up. Is it an opportunity to maybe try somebody else right now, Razor, or do you just stick with the 6 you got and since you're home and you roll with it that way?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think you've got the 6. I don't know if there's anyone that you're going to switch out at this point. I think they would it's really unfortunate. Yoki Haru comes back and Lindholm's I think they really you need 7. You need 7 to be able to do that little toggle and to be able to match up against different teams and set the lefty righty, or if you need to go lefty lefty, you can do it with a certain pairing, but you do it with your free will rather than under the gun. Mm-hmm. So that's what hurts with the timing of this, because again, Yoki Haru was coming back, obviously.
And you have, by the way, my bad, you have Koliachonok that's still there too, and I fully admit that's actually the 7th guy, right?
Yeah. But they've been reluctant to mix him in. He could come in. Yeah, I liked his games, both of the 2 games he played. I liked his jumping into the play, and I liked his mobility.
Would you consider a switch him for Lowry for the Calgary game?
I don't know.
Lowry does get some, not without Hampus, he gets the second power play time.
Correct.
I got to tell you something. I am not against, and I've said this on air before. I don't know what you think or not. What about the big man? What about Zadorov getting an opportunity? I'm okay with it on the second power play.
The only issue with it is if you're going to take 6 penalties a night, then Nikita has to kill. Then you're running out of time. Like then he's 25 minutes, and then you're pushing it, right? But to your point, like I agree. I don't know. I don't see a reason why you can't let him one time a few pucks out there and see what happens. But so all that being said, I don't know if there's necessarily a switch tomorrow night, but I think I could see McAvoy and Zadorov going back. Like I know maybe not Calgary, but like at home you can do a lot better with your matchups at home anyways. That's the good news. You could see a little bit more of a scenario where you're putting guys mixing and matching those D pairs better at home.
Right, because they had McAvoy and Zadorov together the whole road trip until last night.
Yeah.
And when they split it up to begin the game, you had Aspero with McAvoy and then Yoki Haru with Zadorov. Your third pair was Peak on the right and Lowry on the left. It wouldn't surprise, just like I wouldn't surprise if we saw a different player up front, if we saw one player different on the back end too. It just wouldn't, if only for
energy sake,
energy, spark, etc. coming home. It just wouldn't. And I don't know how much, message sending works. Razor, we've always talked about, ice time is really the only thing that coaching management has to get guys' attention. And, the guys, we know this. You lived it. The Stars get a longer leash than some other guys and everything. And I don't know. I think sometimes inaction is worse, and I go back to much earlier in this podcast where I talk about I didn't like the feel how that one ended up last night. It was just too good to have that result happen. It just was when it was going, meaning should have been a different result. Now it wasn't. So I think something's got to happen, but we'll see. Hampus needs to get imaging done. They're going to have their doctors look at it. Marco said it to the media a couple of times that, there's no point doing anything here on the road. They didn't send him home. They're getting him home tonight and he'll get looked at. But it does, I don't know. Again, reading between the lines, it sounds like it's going to be a little bit, partner.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And you look at the schedule, we're January 7th. So 24 days till 27 days until the break. Mm-hmm. So are you rushing a guy back for one game before the break or 2 games, stadium series? Are you going to rush? I don't think you're doing that. So really, if this is a 3-week injury, then you're not seeing him until after the Olympic break.
And he didn't make the Olympic team, so he's not going to rush himself, the Swedish Olympic team, so he's not going to rush himself to get back. Speaking of the Olympics, I just hit on this super quick because all the team's announcements have come out since we last talked. We knew Pastrnak and Zaka would make the team. We didn't the Czech team. We didn't know who would make the Swedish team. We weren't sure if Lindholm would. Elias did make it. Hampus didn't. Did that surprise us? I mean, Sweden's got some good damn good defensemen.
They do. And Hampus window might have just closed a little bit. They went a little younger, but I'm sure he was in the mix. I'm sure he was in the conversations for the last couple spots.
Yeah. So Elias made it. By the way, Latvia took Dan Luxmelis from Providence. And so he gets another opportunity to play international competition. Good for him. Mm-hmm. We already knew about Swayman and McAvoy. No Morgan Geekie. And I wanted to get to this before we were done with this episode, because we are seeing Morgan. We touched on it last night on Nesson, but let's get into it a little more here. Again, this is a slump. This is a scoring slump. We understand slumps happen. I guess what, this is a cerebral guy, Morgan Geekie. This is also a guy that he's talked openly about trying different things. You noticed last night he changed the tape from black to white again and everything. He's gonna think his way through this. Mm-hmm. However, is this almost where it needs to be less thinking, my friend, and more just letting it go? And I understand you do things that make you feel good. I get it, right? Some guys have to wear certain things. Some guys, I don't know. Did you have any? I don't want to call them superstitions, but did you have anything that you needed to change when you were in a rut? Geeky, I'm just not seeing the amount of the hockey cliche of the puck finding him because of his feet movement and positioning that we did before. We're not hearing his name called as much right now, Razor. We're just, at least I don't think so.
Yeah, we're not. It was a road trip. 7 games he hasn't scored. So you're basically, for him, if I was giving him advice, I'd tell him to shoot his way out of it. He beats goalies. We've talked about that. Just shoot. Just rip it from everywhere. Quit trying to make plays. Quit trying to look for seam passes. If I'm his line mate again, dude, don't try and find me tonight. I'll go to the net. I'll put my stick on the ice. I'll try and whack her, but you're just shooting from everywhere. I think you could, if you're, the thing is, the power play has been pretty good still, but you could flip him with David. And I think he's getting a lot of attention now. Mm-hmm. Morgan is, of course, he scored 25 goals in the first half. You could flip them back and make everyone worry about David again and have him coming off his onside wing and shooting pucks. Yeah. But really at the end of the day, for Morgan, certain players, like you just said, have to do certain things. For him, he just has to shoot. Like, look, if he gets a 10-shot night, I think he's going to score. But he hasn't even been shooting. He's been looking for everyone else. And that's where I would tell him, let her rip, bud.
Yeah. And he's not a volume shooter in general.
No,
he's not. And we've talked at length before about how until recently, his shooting percentage was close to 30%, which is unheard of. Right now, as I pull it up, he's down to 24%, which is still pretty damn good as far as, people in the NHL go. But you're talking, it was 27.5%, 28% for a while, but he just hasn't gotten many shots. In fact, he had 5 shots combined, Seattle and Van, and then he had 1 shot each in the previous 3 games. And
so 7 shots. I mean, you're even with his shot, you're not scoring at that. You just can't score if you only take 7 shots over 4 games. It's just that it's going to catch you. And he hit, don't forget, he hit 2 posts in Vancouver, right? Yes. Like he's hitting posts, and so he's got that snake bite in him a little bit right now too. So I'm not. This isn't concerning by any means. He just has to do it a little differently than what he has in the past, because now he's a star. That's all.
Gotta think one of the things we will see at home will be Geeky and Pasta together.
Yeah.
Excuse me, to begin. We saw that halfway through the game in Seattle. They went back to that, and it had to be, in my eyes, because the Mitten line was so good against Vancouver. Marco had no reason to split them up. Against Seattle, it was okay, and I think he then wanted to try and get Geeky going. and he put them back together. I would think that line gets going. And again, I think we see one change. I'm guessing it's AC Mont that comes in up front for one change. We'll see you against Calgary, but I could see a tweakage to the lines. Olympic teams we touch on. Oh, real quick. There's going to be an announcement coming up. This isn't just more of a general thing. I don't know. Did you see the NHL email about Utah? Did you see? No. Yes, there's an announcement coming up between the owners of Utah, outside or outdoors at the football stadium.
Oh, okay.
Where they are. So put 2 and 2 together, my friend.
There you go.
And I am not the smartest guy, but I would think that we are going to see an outdoor game in Utah coming up next year.
Bruins will not be a part of that, so that's positive, I guess.
I guess, yeah. So we'll have to play guess the opponent for that
Colorado.
one. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I mean, yeah, they may be the only team in the league, the Mammoth, that have not played in an outdoor game of any kind. So, and by the way, that makes sense.
That's what you get. That's what you spend $1 billion for. You get an outdoor game.
Exactly. What did you think of the outdoor game this year of the Winter Classic? Yeah. How did it translate to TV? I was there. Yeah. How did it translate?
Not that well.
No,
it was very blah, I thought.
The game was blah too. I mean,
that never helps, but I don't know. It just didn't have. You could tell. It felt like it was indoors. I don't know. It just felt like it was indoors from TV. We didn't get too invested in our house.
So it's interesting. It had a very different feel on site. Practice day, warm up, but then when the windows opened and the roof opened, it had a very different in-person vibe. It was colorful. It was nice. Look, I get it. It's not a traditional market per se, and it's not a Miami being a newer market, but also it doesn't feel, because it's not wintry, like a Winter Classic. But I will say this, I've kind of had a change of heart about the outdoor games. The impact in local markets is so significant that it is worthy. And I have no issue with them even calling it a Winter Classic. I don't, if only because if we want the league to succeed, and we can get into a whole argument about there's too many teams, and there's going to be 2 more teams coming. There are going to be in the next 2 years, 4 years, they'll be out there. That's another conversation for another time. But if you want the league to succeed, you got to do it. And your point about rewarding, this was a reward. And the Tampa game that both you and I will be at with the Bruins is a reward for the Tampa Bay Lightning as well. So it's just interesting. I'm curious how the Tampa game will. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Once they opened up the roof and the glass on the side, the temperature dropped a few degrees, very slight breeze. The moon was out there. It was you couldn't have had a more perfect kind of reveal, Razor. On site, though. Again, I didn't know how it translated to TV side.
Yeah, you couldn't really. It still looked inside, right? It's still like the way it is. But because again, the football fields give you a better look. They just do. The football fields are where the real gold is. But I'm with you. It doesn't bother me that it wasn't the historic one. You know, like they don't all have to be historic, because each team gets a great experience. The league does a great job. They bring all their sponsors. Like it's an event, and that's good for everybody. Even if it doesn't translate on TV, it doesn't matter.
It is good. I will tell you, the Miami market in areas was invested in it. With that said, I guarantee you there are a lot of people who had no idea that it was even happening down there. But
that's Miami.
But that's Miami, right?
You're going to get that with everything. You'll get that even with the NFL. There's people that have no idea what the NFL is down there.
Exactly. So, anyways, all right. That's going to wrap up this morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. RC, thanks for helping put it all together. Thanks to our sponsors, Sparks, Fazenda, Sunset Lake CBD, and Copeland Automotive Group. Razor, you and I will do a pre-brew tomorrow before the Calgary game, and then we will have a full episode Saturday morning. We'll be live on EEI, and then it'll be out in both podcast and on our YouTube channel after that. So the Bruins come home off the road trip. It was a long trip, not games-wise, but time-wise, at least for the Bruins as far as that goes. They come home 2-2-1. They got to figure a couple of things out, in particular the penalties, because that's not getting old anymore. That's done. If it doesn't get changed immediately, they're going to be in big trouble. Everybody, enjoy your day. Enjoy your coffee.